Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever asked an AI a question, gotten a super confident answer back, and then, found out it was completely undeniably wrong? Maybe it mentioned a court case that didn't exist, or, I don't know, told you to eat rocks. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something that really jumped out from the sources we looked at: AI hallucinations. Our mission here is to really get under the hood. What causes these AI systems to just confidently invent facts? What are the real-world problems this creates? And most importantly, how can we prevent it? We're aiming to cut through the noise today.
Yeah, and what's fascinating, maybe a bit unsettling, is how fast this whole hallucination thing has shifted. It's gone from being like a niche technical glitch to a really fundamental challenge. It touches on trust, reliability,
Yes.
especially as AI gets woven more into our daily lives, into business. It's critical now.
It really is. And, for those of you listening who work with AI, you've probably bumped into the term. But what is an AI hallucination exactly? Well, basically, it's when an AI model just spits out false or misleading information but presents it like it's gospel truth. Super confident. IBM has a good take on it. They say it's like the LLM, the large language model, sees patterns that aren't actually there, which leads to these outputs that are kind of nonsensical or just flat out wrong.
Right.
And what really struck me from the research is how these things work fundamentally. Generative AI, it's essentially like super advanced predictive text, right? It's built to guess the next word statistically. It's not really checking facts in real time. So when it hits a gap in its knowledge, it doesn't just say, I don't know. OpenAI actually points this out. They say AI has this tendency to invent facts in moments of uncertainty. It makes an educated guess, basically. And sometimes that guess is pure fiction, but it sounds plausible, incredibly so sometimes.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, you can see these aren't just like minor slip-ups. They're pretty pervasive. And they can have some really significant real-world consequences. We've seen some, frankly, jaw-dropping examples.
Oh, yeah.
Well, take that attorney back in May 2023, used ChatGPT for a legal motion. The thing included totally fictitious court opinions, fake citations, and it led to actual sanctions, financial penalties. That's a direct hit.
Wow. Okay.
Or think about just straightforward misinterpretations. April 2023, ChatGPT falsely accused a law professor of harassment, and it wrongly tagged an Australian mayor with bribery. Turns out the mayor was actually the whistleblower.
No way.
Yeah. And it's not just text either. Google's Bard, which is Gemini now, it incorrectly claimed the Webb telescope took pictures of a specific exoplanet. That was something easily checked. But the AI stated it as fact. And the scope of this, when you look at the numbers, is kind of surprising. Get this. A staggering 86% of online users say they've encountered AI hallucinations. 86%.
That's huge.
It is. And the tools themselves. Generative AI models hallucinate somewhere between, say, 2.5% and maybe 22.4% of the time, and nearly 46%, almost half of generated texts, contain factual inaccuracies. Those aren't small numbers at all.
Those figures really put it in perspective. It makes you wonder, though, if these systems are getting so advanced, why are they making these kinds of blunders?
It feels counterintuitive, right? I saw the U.S. National Institute for Standards and Technology, NIST, actually called AI hallucinations generative AI's greatest security flaw. That's a pretty heavy statement. It suggests it's more than just a bug.
It absolutely is. It's fundamental. And this really raises a key question. If these are the deep-seated reasons, how do we even start to counteract them? Especially when some estimates say chatbots hallucinate around 27% of the time.
Yeah, what are the causes then? Well, the research points to a few main culprits. First one, poor training data quality. I mean, AI models learn from these massive data sets, right? And if that data is incomplete or it's biased or just plain wrong, the AI kind of just inherits those flaws. It tries to fill in the gaps by making assumptions, often unsupported ones.
Makes sense.
The National Institute of Health found that up to 47%, almost half of ChatGPT references, are just fabricated, because the AI would rather generate something convincing, even if wrong, than admit it doesn't have the info.
47%, that's almost half its references just made up. That number is wild.
It's astonishing, really. And second, you've got data retrieval errors. So even if the training data was perfect, the way the AI actually fetches or processes information can mess things up, distort the output.
Oh, okay.
A famous example, it went pretty viral, was Air Canada's chatbot. It mistakenly offered a passenger a bereavement discount because it misinterpreted the query.
Oh, I remember hearing about that one.
Right. And then, of course, Google's AI overview search feature, the one advising users that eating at least one small rock daily was okay. That's a pretty clear data retrieval failure right there. Highlights the issue perfectly.
The rock-eating advice. Yeah, that one's hard to forget. It just shows how confidently wrong these systems can be.
Indeed. Third factor, overfitting and language challenges. Overfitting is when the AI gets too focused on its specific training data, like it memorizes it too well. So it struggles to generalize when it sees new, unfamiliar inputs. Think of it like a student who only crammed for one type of test question.
And then gets thrown by anything different.
Exactly. Add to that just how complex human language is, ambiguity, idioms, slang, really intricate sentence structures. AI struggles with all that nuance. Even the really advanced models like ChatGPT-4 still show about a 28% hallucination rate.
Still pretty high.
Yeah. And finally, number 4, problematic prompts and malicious inputs. If you give the AI a vague prompt, it creates uncertainty, makes the AI guess more. That can lead to errors. And then there are malicious inputs, people intentionally trying to trick or mislead the system.
Right, like feeding it bad info to see what it does.
Precisely. There was an example with OpenAI's Whisper transcription tool. It was found to sometimes just make up phrases during silent parts of medical conversations. Happened in about 1.4% of transcriptions. Probably due to context gaps or maybe ambiguous input leading it astray.
Okay, this is where it starts to feel really tricky. The stakes get higher, right? Especially for anyone using these tools professionally or in areas where mistakes really matter. What really stood out to me from the sources was this. More than half of executives, they report major or even extreme concern about the ethical and reputational risks of AI in their companies. This isn't just about a chatbot saying something silly anymore. It's about real business impact.
That's exactly right. These aren't just, technical glitches off in a corner. They are critical business challenges. They demand serious oversight, proactive prevention. For businesses, these hallucinations can translate directly into pretty significant process errors and compliance issues.
How so?
Think about it. If an AI confidently gives you incorrect information, and that info feeds into automated systems, you can trigger this whole chain reaction of errors, leading to costly mistakes, maybe even legal or regulatory violations.
Yeah, I can see that.
Look at the financial services industry. The sources say 70% of leaders there plan to increase their AI budgets, but only about 25% of AI projects actually get fully implemented. Why? Top reasons are data security concerns, that's 45%, and accuracy issues, that's 43%.
So adoption is being held back by these very problems.
Directly. And we've seen actual legal consequences, too, like those sanctions for the lawyer using fabricated case citations. Sarah Chowdhury, she's the CEO of ICE Innovations, she put it well in the sources. Fabricated AI outputs can trigger costly decision errors and regulatory penalties. And the really insidious part is that AI confidence. Errors often go unnoticed until, the damage is already done.
That confidence factor is honestly terrifying, isn't it? And it's not just about compliance, is it? It's the ripple effect on a company's image, customer trust. One confident screw-up could just erode years of credibility.
Absolutely. Which leads right into the next big impact, damaged trust and reputation. A single AI blunder, especially a public one, can snowball into a full-blown brand crisis. It takes years to fix that kind of damage. Jim Little, he's the Chief Innovation Officer at Nasuni. He puts it pretty starkly in the research we saw. He says, one false product recommendation or legal citation can destroy trust that took years to build. And he makes a great point. Customers don't distinguish between the AI got it wrong and your brand published false information. It's your credibility on the line.
That's a crucial distinction. It all reflects back on the company.
Exactly. And Egbert von Frankenberg, CEO of Nifox App Design, adds to that. He stresses the need for preparation. Incorrect product details or bad advice from a bot damages brand credibility immediately. You need validation tools, monitoring, and a plan for what happens when things go wrong. We saw this happen with that ChatGPT case, falsely accusing the law professor in 2023. That stuff spreads like wildfire on social media.
Right. Reputational damage can happen incredibly fast.
Incredibly fast. And despite these growing worries, the research shows over half of companies surveyed, they don't even have written policies on ethical AI use. And about 21% doubt they can even manage AI responsibly right now.
That's concerning.
It is. And Divya Parekh, founder of the DP Group, she had a powerful statement that really stuck with me. She said, hallucinations aren't tech bugs. They're cracks in the credibility your business stands on. One false quote, one fake citation, and trust shatters. Precision is the price of reputation. These risks really hammer home that AI hallucinations are fundamental business challenges. They need robust oversight.
Okay, so given all that, the potential for error, the business risks, what does this all mean for us? Can we actually tame this beast? Can we prevent AI hallucinations? The good news, I guess, is that yes, the research points to proven methods, ways to significantly reduce them at least. Complete elimination, maybe not possible right now. The sources suggest it's an ongoing fight, but a significant reduction seems absolutely achievable. With the right technical safeguards, the right workflows.
That really is the critical question, isn't it? How do we take these individual strategies and make them systematic, make them consistent? There was a 2024 study, for example, found that almost 89% of engineers still run into hallucinations regularly. That just underlines the constant need for strong verification. So let's talk solutions. What works?
Okay, lay it on us.
All right, first method. Using something called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, combined with verified data sources. RAG basically means you anchor the AI's output in accurate, verified external data before it starts generating. Think your own company databases, internal documents, curated knowledge bases.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah.
instead of the AI just pulling from its general, massive, potentially flawed training, you're giving it a specific, trusted cheat sheet for the task first.
Precisely. You ground it in verified facts relevant to the query. This greatly minimizes errors, cuts down on fabricated content, especially when you're dealing with structured data. There are tools out there, like Latenode was mentioned, that can help automate this. They manage the data flow between, say, Salesforce or your internal wiki and the AI model itself.
That makes a lot of sense. Give it the right ingredients before it starts cooking, essentially. Grounds it in reality. What's next?
Second method involves better prompts and output controls. Just crafting really effective, clear, structured prompts makes a huge difference. It's becoming a whole discipline, prompt engineering. There are advanced techniques too, like chain of thought reasoning. You ask the AI to outline its thinking step by step.
Oh, interesting. So you can see its logic.
Exactly. Makes it easier to spot where it might have gone off the rails. There's also few-shot prompting, giving it examples and using specific output formatting constraints to guide it. And output controls add another layer, defining strict response formats, maybe required fields, or setting acceptable value ranges. It helps validate the output before it goes anywhere else.
I can definitely see how that would prevent some of those really wild, off-the-wall answers we talked about earlier. But sometimes, I mean, no matter how good the prompt is, you just need a human to look at it, right? Especially for important stuff.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. That brings us to the third method, adding human review steps. The whole human-in-the-loop approach, it's critical for oversight. You just need human judgment sometimes. And the data backs this up. Studies show massive improvements when humans and AI collaborate. Image detection rates on standard data sets like CFAR10, they jump from like 37.8% with AI alone to almost 93% with human help.
Wow, that's a huge leap.
It is. Same for intrusion detection on security benchmarks like KDD Cup went from about 33% accuracy to 87%. So platforms and tools can be set up to facilitate this. They can create conditional workflows, maybe route outputs to a human reviewer if it's a high-stakes decision, or if the AI's confidence score is low, or if it involves sensitive information. And importantly, these systems can maintain audit trails, which is crucial for compliance.
That combination of machine efficiency and human judgment seems really powerful. So what's the final piece of this prevention puzzle?
The fourth method is about being smart with deployment, building task-specific workflows. Basically, tailor your AI usage. Use the right AI for the right job, where it performs best. Don't just throw a general-purpose AI at every single problem.
Right. Different tools for different tasks.
Exactly. For example, a customer service workflow might prioritize AI models trained for empathy and policy adherence, whereas a workflow for generating technical documentation needs to focus pizzily on accuracy and completeness. Different needs, different setup. You can use conditional logic within these workflows to categorize requests and apply the appropriate AI model. The right validation steps. Things like defining response templates or using built-in database features help ensure consistency too, keep the AI from contradicting itself. It's about smart, targeted application.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the core takeaway from our deep dive today?
For me, it seems clear. AI is this incredibly powerful tool, no doubt, but it absolutely demands careful, constant supervision. We've kind of dug into the what, the why, and the how of these hallucinations, and those pillars for prevention you outlined seem really foundational. Using retrieval augmented generation RA to ground the AI in facts, really precise prompt engineering to guide it, And critically, integrating that human oversight to catch what the machines miss.
Mhm.
It feels like by leveraging these technical safeguards, these structured approaches, we can actually harness AI's potential much more safely. We can ensure errors get caught before they disrupt operations or affect customers or, damage reputation.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, think about regulations. Regulatory standards are increasingly emphasizing human oversight and AI workflows. It's becoming an expectation. So businesses that embed these robust verification processes now, they're just going to be much better prepared for the future. But maybe drilling down to the individual level, for you listening, this raises an important question, I think. In a world where AI can so confidently make things up, how will you personally cultivate your own verification framework? How will you approach the information you encounter, regardless of whether it came from an AI or any other source? That's something to really consider.